Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Welcome. Welcome to Real Talk with Rodney Grimes. Yes, that's me. God is good. I hope everybody is continuing to be safe and taking care of yourselves. Today is a very, very powerful evening because of the conversation that's going to take place. And I just come from from the window where I go and meditate and pray. And my prayer was that this evening would be a life-saving conversation to help somebody who may be in need of some support, and to know that they are not alone. Because our topic today is about domestic violence and child abuse. And I don't take that lightly. I don't take that lightly for several reasons. Because myself, I have experienced it and I contribute to it as well. And by saying that, photo-time and production, PTP, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people, it's real talk. That's what I do, real talk. So I can't fabricate anything, nor will I hold anything back. I'm not going to try to, sugarcoat things when I do wrong or something that I've done in my life that I want to acknowledge. I will make sure that I keep it real. And I've always been like that, and I will continue to do so, because I think that that's one of the things that put me in good standings with God, when I know that when I get on my knees and ask for forgiveness, that He knows I have a pure heart with pure thoughts. And I'm saying, I'm hoping that all of us are like that. I'm not saying I'm special or anything like that. It's just that I'm a caring person. And it's probably because of some of the things that's happened in my life. So, before I really get into this real deep conversation, so I just been wanting to really thank everybody who's been tuning in and sharing information about PTP, and I know that it's getting where you're sitting down and I'm here talking to you. It takes time out of your life, and I just wanted you to know that I appreciate it. My ultimate goal is that in the process of me doing this, that I save somebody's life, that I help somebody find a blessing, that I help somebody reach their life goal dreams, that I can be a vessel for them to step up as I hold the ladder for them to go up, to find success in their life. And I take that very serious. So, with that said, I know, because this topic is so sensitive. Domestic abuse is not anything to play with, and I can only imagine what's going on with some people who are locked in and don't have support, people coming in checking on them and helping them, and they feeling like they're all alone. And if it's anybody that's tuning in right now, know this: you're not alone. And God didn't put you on this earth to be abused mentally, physically, any kind of way. God didn't put you on this earth to have to take any kind of abuse. And that don't just go for women, that goes for men as well. And most important, our children. It is very important that we know this, and we have to deal with the truth. That's why it's real talk. So before I even get started, because what happens is the momentum picks up as we go, I got to be obedient and do what I know that God wants me to do. So I didn't even open up the Bible, because I thought about the scripture. My grandmother always told me, and my mom, said whenever I was in trouble or things was really heavy on my heart, it's one scripture I go to, and many of us will go to it, and it's one of my favorites of all, and that's the 23rd Psalm. Yes, I do know it by heart, but my energy can go different levels, and sometimes my mind will get to wondering and whatever the case may be. So I'm going to take this opportunity to read it. And if you would like to recite it with me, please do so. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod, thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely in goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, as I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And I just want to say thank you, Lord, Father God. I appreciate your blessings and your guidance and your love and forgiveness. And I ask in the name of Jesus, Lord, that, again, if it's anybody that's dealing with any kind of abuse of any kind, that they know that first, you get on your knees and you call on God and you say, my Father, I need to be relieved of this situation. And you get up and you make a move. And you make sure that you do it. Tonight I got a guest going to be coming on that she has a organization called Bound for Better. Her name is Kathy McKnight. She'll be joining me shortly. But I just want to, again, share a little bit information with you to let you know. When I said that I was a victim of child abuse, it was serious. And a lot of my family members who know my past are aware of it. Some of my neighbors whom grew up where I grew up at, they were aware of it. They may not saw everything that was going on the inside. This evening, while we were eating, my wife asked me a question. And I'm glad she answered it. She asked me the question because I answered it when I went upstairs and was preparing myself to come down. She said, are you going to be all right telling people, that you was abused as a child, and how you going to handle that, and are you sure you're okay with it? So when I was upstairs and I was sitting in the bathroom for a second, I start to think, that's the problem with a lot of people who are going through abuse. They're afraid to tell. They're afraid to reveal the truth. They think people are going to look at them bad. They're going to think that they're doing something wrong. They're going to say, oh, if I tell somebody I'm going through this, everybody's going to look at me and say, oh, you different, or something's wrong with you, or you're causing this to happen. And I want my wife to know, who's right here, no, I'm not ashamed. No, I'm not afraid to talk about it. And I accept my responsibility because, as I said, I was abused as a child in different ways, not sexually, but physically and mentally. And I won't tell you the stories because you wouldn't even believe me if I told you. You would probably be just like devastated that I am walking around a halfway decent individual with some of the stuff that I had to endure. And I know that some of you may know my family members, my siblings. I'm not putting our business out in the street because they can talk about their experiences if they want, but I have the right to talk about mine. And so doing that, I'm not trying to disrespect my family, but I'm just keeping it real because I know that there's somebody out there that's possibly going through what I went through. I want to share with you how serious was it for me. That some years ago, I haven't finished it yet, but I started to write a book. And it's called 504 Pain Street. right? Here it is, 504 Payne Street. I'm going to walk up to, just to let you see, 504 Payne Street is P-A-I-N. But I lived on Payne Street was P-A-Y-N-E. Why would I put and change the title to 504 Payne Street? You'll see also that on the cover there, it says, a true story of abuse, love, survival, and recovery. And it took a lot out of me to do this. And so, yes, I'm proud that I'm a decent man, that I'm not abusing anybody, that I've made it this far, and that God is good. I'm going to share something with you out of the book, and then I'm going to then have my guest to then shortly join in and give you some more information. If I can, let me see, I probably have some people joined already. Okay. Danelle Bryce, Millie and Monte Grimes, Desi and Troy, Rachel Pope, Jerome Lewis, Keena Holmes, Cheryl Henderson, Frank Mosley, Jackie Surratt, Tawana, Kimberly Wilson, Busy D. Williams, Ariva Evans, and Lynn Nelson. Welcome all those who are here. Welcome all those who are coming. And I appreciate your support and ask that you, hey, if I have any people out there that's doing a group setting, it's better that you don't do the group setting and have everybody individually to tune in, because if they have some comments they want to share, they'll be able to do so. And I'm also want to give you the telephone number. It's 301-793-7342. 301-793-7342. If you saw on the flyer with Bond for Better, Miss Kathy McKnight's number is on the flyer. If there's anyone out there that's going through some terrible situations and you need somebody to talk to, please give her a call. And you know something, if you need to call me, then call me. I have several people I know that can put me in the right direction. My goddaughter, who's happened to be on here, is also an individual who I'm sure has a lot of information that can help anybody that's being abused or in bad situations. And I don't care what it is. Something that you may think is a little small can be very large. And if somebody is taking advantage of you or beating on you, sexually abusing you, treating your children bad, please know that that's not anything that you should be allowing to happen. Because you have the will. And you can say yes and no. And you can pick up that phone. That's why I put the phone here today. You can pick up the phone and call 911. And if you just got to pick up the phone and call Jesus, right? And say, look, I'm not going to take this no more. Handle your business. You do what you do to get out of it. But you make sure that you know that you're not alone. So I'm going to just share a little something out of the book. First of all, in the beginning of the book, I'm not going to get into a long thing about it, but I started the book off as I recall, I was living in heaven. 504, the center house of 5-row homes situated on North Payne Street in Alexandria, Virginia, was a place of peace, joy during my early years of life. I'm going to leave it right there, right, on that part. And then I go here, and let me see. As the years passed, I remember doing just fine. Then one day, he came. He happened to be my father, my biological dad. The first thing I recall was seeing this man walk into my mother's room with a very deep, uncaring voice telling me to get out of her bed. Her bed was my resting place. Most nights with my thumb in my mouth. I could not understand why my mother did not respond with something like, Rodney, it's okay. You can stay. Just go to sleep. but she didn't say anything. And somehow I knew it was to my best interest to do what this man had just told me. I wasn't sure who he was or where he came from, but from that day forward, nothing was the same. That was the day the shadows were cast over our home, transforming into 504 Payne Street, P-A-I-N. Our peaceful paradise became a gloomy, cold castle. No longer would you hear laughter, or small footsteps running in from playtime, just whispering, trying to avoid contact with this new intruder. To my surprise, this man assumed the role, head of our household and our father. With his arrival, our 2-bedroom house became a chamber of horror, and there began my lifelong nightmare. I'm gonna stop right there because I can carry on, and I probably would get a little emotional because it was very, very devastating with some of the things that we had to deal with, dealing with that abuse, and so I don't take it lightly. So the reason why I shared that with you is because I didn't want you to think that I'm fabricating anything. I wanted you to know that this is real, and this happens to everybody, one way or another. And I shouldn't say happen to everybody, but I'm saying happen to many people, that they have experienced some type of abuse. We got some more people that joined in. Regina Pope, Eric E. Baby Smith, Darlene Smith. Darlene Smith is my partner from Praise Storm Productions. We have Linda Wilson, Quan Ellison, Deborah Ellison, Catrice Edwards. I welcome you all. And I hope that y'all had the opportunity to hear me in the beginning as I was sharing with you. Again, this is not a thing to take lightly. Abuse is real. And it's a lot of us experience this, and people look at us and think that we are just, man, you know, you can walk around, I can walk around and dress nice and try to be a gentleman, talk with some sense and everything, but you wouldn't know that as a child, sometimes I was scared to go home. I was scared to go home because I didn't know what I was going to go home to. It was times when I saw my mom in situations that I wouldn't put an animal in. Okay, but you know, it is what it is, and I don't want to make this about me. As I say, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. This is about us. My cousin Johnny Shepard is joining in as well. Much love and respect to you, my brother. I love you. I love you dearly. If this guy was sitting right here, I can tell you, he's a witness to some of the stuff that I had to deal with. And I remember a few times he stepped in as a hero for me. I love him. He's an amazing dude because he stepped in for me to help protect us a couple of times. And that was just something that I would never, ever forget. And I just appreciate that. These are some of the signs of child abuse or neglect. Changing in behavior, including hostile, anger, aggression, reluctance to leave activities such as school, sports, and you're gonna just bear with me because I am dealing with some emotions inside right now. Attempting to run away and leave the home, changes in performance in school, frequent absence from school, withdrawal from friends, family, or unusual activities, self-harm or attempted suicide, and deficient behavior. Those are some of the signs. Sometimes you'll see other people who have these situations, and it'll be something that you know, you might be overlooking, but if you see that, or especially if you notice with a child, if a child is withdrawing or something like that. I got Miss Kathy McKnight on the line. Matter of fact, what I want you to do, Miss Kathy, can you hear me good?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sit the phone over there, and I'm just doing the test right now. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. Miss Kathy, first of all, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and take a few minutes to share about your organization and what you do, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Rodney, for this evening, for having me on. And I want to say that I do commend you for talking about partially of your story. It takes a lot of courage to talk about your story. Bound for Better started in January of 2014, where I'm also a survivor. I moved forward, and it has enabled me to start my organization where I help women in First Georgia County throughout the state of Maryland. I've become licensed where I can help anyone and service anyone throughout the state of Maryland. I have a safe house. I do have 72-hour hotel stays. I provide crime victim resources, counseling and advocacy, court hearing appointments, assessment, and referrals. We do outreach programs. I'm available 24/7. I have an adoptive room, and there's a 10-week trauma session program that is on every Thursday. And the program can consist of a client herself or a family member that has lost someone due to domestic violence.
In fact, and I'm going to ask you kind of speak up a little bit because we because of the situation where we do use the phone, I want to make sure everybody is definitely being able to hear you. So what's the telephone number they can call if they are having issues with domestic violence or they know somebody who is having that situation?
Sure. My number is 240-601-4517. Again, that's 240-601-4517.
So let me share something with you. So, you know, sometimes when people be talking, they be sharing information that they haven't experienced or they haven't indulged in or whatever the case. So, you know, I want you to jump in whenever you want, but I'm going to share something else about me. So some people say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Or they'll say if a drug addict, somebody who used to be a drug addict, they're always a drug addict. I don't believe that. I believe once you don't deal with the drugs anymore, you're not an addict anymore. That was your past. If you keep saying that, oh, I'm a drug addict, or I'm a recovering drug addict, then you are. If I say I'm a recovering abuser, then I'm still an abuser. I'm not an abuser, okay? I've been with my wife here going on 12, 13 years. I'm not going to say I don't have a bad temper. I do. And because of the abuse that I had as a child, I developed that. And coming up, I had a demeanor that I didn't allow people to put their hands on me, and if they did, I responded back very aggressively. And Miss Kathy, I'm telling you this because I'm trying to I know you was a victim, and I want you to talk as well about some of the things that you experienced, but I need men. Let me explain something to you. You have no reason to be beaten on no woman under no circumstances. None. My wife cannot whoop me, not physically. And I know there's some women out there can handle their business, but on the average, I'm an ex-Marine. I studied the martial arts for many, many years, and I'm telling you, I'm capable of handling my business. So I know I should not be putting my hands on a woman. I got to tell you an experience, and I hope my children who are listening don't get offended because they know from the past that, you know, I used to be a little aggressive. I didn't abuse my children. I never did. I know that we had our areas where I wasn't the best dad, but I was always there, always a phone call away. And for the things that I did do was wrong, I apologize to them today, and I love them with all my heart because I am determined to make sure that prior to my day of dying, that they'll say, you know, my dad loved me and he was trying to be a good man. So, Miss Kathy, just hold on a second, okay?
Okay.
I want to share this. So, we all think that abuse is okay if it just happened once or twice. one time, my daughter, it was her birthday. I think she was turning about 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old. I was being a little wild back then, or whatever the case may be. So anyway, long story short, I went to her mom's apartment, and I brought some birthday gifts in there. And her mom was upset because a female that I was dating at the time had bought the gifts. So her mom grabbed the gifts out of my hand and started to rip them apart. And before I knew it, I hit her. I did it out of reaction, and I bruised her really bad. And the bad part is that I really didn't mean to do it, but I did it because I have seen a man hit a woman, which was my father. So my reaction was something that I saw that my body and my mind reacted to, because it kind of looked at it almost like it was a normal thing to do. And so when I hit her mom, I hit her so hard that it bruised her, and she fell down. And my baby started crying and everything, and I was just outraged. And I tried to solidify what happened because she snatched the birthday gift out of my hand and ripped it up. Well, long story short, the next day when I came, I had, me and her mom knew about, my activities, and I had a way of kind of covering it up like what most abusers will do. They're always trying to find a reason why they did what they did and try to justify it, and there's no justification. So when I came the next day, and I had a key, and I opened up the door, and my daughter saw me, my daughter took off running toward her mom and said, "Daddy, don't kill my mommy." Let me explain something to you. Any man, no child, under no circumstances, is supposed to have to see that and have to experience that. And that's one of the things that haunt me today. And that's why I'm doing this today as well. So, Miss Kathy, I wanted to share that with you because, even though I know it was wrong and I have no excuse for that, but I just thank God that He put nothing but love in my hands and in my heart today, that I'm able to confess my sins and do it and stand up to be a man to acknowledge that that was wrong. And so I just wanted to share that.
Okay, and I thank you for sharing that. I do thank you for sharing that. And I'm going to clarify that the perpetrator that was against me, it was not a relationship. It was a friendship that he tried to become more than a friendship. And every time I tried to leave, he would always threaten my kids or my grandchildren. So at this point, it was like, okay, well, I don't live my life. So at this point, it doesn't even matter because I'm going to defend for my children. Fight for my children and do what I had to. And there's been several occasions where I would try to get away, and I would fight this person back. I've always been a person who stands for myself. Being the person that I am, I just felt like I needed to stand up for myself. It was the last episode was, I can recall, when he tried to throw me down my stairs. So at this point, I started praying. I got on my knees and started praying. I was like, no, I'm not refused. I'm not going out like this. So I prayed, and he was like, his last word he said to me, he said, if God really cared about you, he would not let me do this SHIT to you. So at that point, I don't know what it was. It was some type of strength that welled up inside of me, and I just pushed him. And he fell back, and I said, it's time to go. It's time for you to go. That was in 2013. So again, at this point, it didn't even matter, Rodney, whether or not, because I knew my kids, they were going to be fine. But I knew that I had enough of him even threatening me and my children and my grandkids. So I haven't seen this individual. As of today, there is still a warrant active on this person. I'm not in fear of my life or anything. I have to go on for these women that are no longer here. I have had friends that were killed through domestic violence, and then he turned it on himself and killed himself. Well, one, he killed her, and he's still here. So I'm still speaking for these women that are here. It's a daily. And people family tends to judge you with that. Why did you leave? Or you crazy because you stayed? You don't know why anything. My kids would say, "Mommy, why are you dealing with this? Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm doing this. It's fine. Everything's good." In the back of my head, I'm saying, "Little girl, you just don't know. I'm trying to save your life." So at this point, they were leaving everything, just making sure that they were fine. I'm like, "God, you get me out of this. I promise I would never get into anything else like this again." So this individual, he has left me a message before a couple of months ago, apologizing, crying. I still have the message, but again, it has given me the strength to just keep moving forward, knowing what I have to do. And I've been told plenty of times, Kathy, you got a voice for it. You like to speak, so I like to talk on what's just and what's right. And right is right. And I know for me, I've been here long enough. I've learned long enough. I've been through it. So, and it all came in control with the power and control wheel. And it will go back and put me in the mind frame that men are more so now talking about domestic violence. I do have one client, it's a guy, and he does not want to hurt her. So he had to be placed into the hotel. So people are speaking up now. They shouldn't have to be judged and feeling where you are, it's not going to help happen to me or not. You don't know how it's going to happen or if it's going to happen. I said the same thing. I'm trying to befriend somebody. Okay, if I'm trying to be your friend, then it's like I give a little bit more because I like to see people happy. I love helping people. So when I started seeing so much more of being very needy and just I'm thinking I'm enabling this person, I had to back away, and they wasn't trying to have that. So things just started turning a little difficult, and the relationship I got in after that, it was just totally different. It was like this person, he made me speak. I would just say, "No, I don't want to talk about anything right now." He said, "No, you need to sit down. We're going to talk about this right now." So that has enabled me also to keep having this voice to keep going. And then the women I see today, again, some of them they found their own places now. They're basically starting a new job. They're starting with the state. They moved to D.C. or Maryland, Maryland. But again, it's just being able to have that support. And now with this virus going around, it's kind of hard because you don't know, they're solid. They're not speaking on it. They can't get away. You're in the worst situation. The worst danger, the situation that you're trying to get out. When you get ready to get out, that's the worst situation because he can really kill you when you're trying to leave. That's the worst part.
So, and that's what I want to stress, that with this situation right now, we can only imagine how many people got caught up in this, where they was in a relationship where they're being abused. May they be a man or a woman or a child. That once they said, okay, you can't come out after 8, you can't do this, you can't be on the street, you got to wear a mask. Some people wearing masks probably got scars up under them, and it's sad that we got this going on. But I also want to say this. Now, this is not in defense of anybody who's abusing anybody. Let me make this clear. As a child, I saw this on a regular. I saw the abuse. I experienced it. My father was a serious drinker. He was an alcoholic. He was retired from the army. He had a lot of issues from the military. And I was able to forgive my dad once I went into the Marine Corps, when I was exposed to being trained to be a professional killer. That I realized that that's something that you just don't just kick out and it go away. And also from just the upbringing, from some of the violence, that it was embedded in me, and I had to learn how to deal with that. And I did that by seeking help and acknowledging the truth. So, what you do, Miss Kathy, giving people that opportunity to have a way out is amazing. So before we even go on, can you give a telephone number out again if there's anybody that may be having a problem or issue?
I'm sorry, Rodney. You said, can I do what?
Could you give your telephone number out again?
Sure. Yes, and it's 24/7. I sleep with it on because I'm partnered up with the county police as well. So it's usually when they call, I need to get somebody in the hotel. My number is 240-601-4517. Again, 240-601-4517.
Okay.
And that's male and female. female, because like I said, men are speaking out more so now than anything, because a lot of men don't want to go to jail, so they rather call the police or the sheriff. And, you know, they've been reporting that more. So 1 in 7 men versus more than 1 in 4 women have been reported.
You know, let me say this for young mothers. Know this: no man is worth keeping if your child is seeing him put his hands on you. I don't care whether he's the father or not. You will be in a situation where you're thinking it's okay because he said I was high or I was drunk or you made me do it. Nobody makes you hit them. It takes 2 people to argue. It takes 2 people to fight. If somebody is in that situation, know that it's your responsibility as a parent, as an adult, to get your child away from that, because it will affect them. I'm telling you that. I know. I experienced it. And even with my kids, coming up, I was a little aggressive. I was a little aggressive all the way around. But you know, I have a very, very beautiful relationship. I speak with my children, and they tell me some of the things that I did, you know, when I was a little out of control. And I now see it even more clearly, especially now I got my grandchildren, that it's important that they don't be exposed to that unnecessary abuse. So I wanted to say that I got some people on here that I know who have experienced this abuse, and please, I would love for you to call in or send a message to, you know, send something, you know, just acknowledging that you ain't. Some people feel like this. They feel like, I guess I'm putting my business out there if I told them that I was experiencing abuse. But let me tell you what happens. When you got a lot of people out there that's going through what you was going through, think about how you was feeling, okay, when you was going through it. You wanted somebody to help you. You wanted somebody to help you. You wanted somebody to step up and say, yo, stop this woman from beating on me. Stop this man from beating on me. And then think about the children that's out there. So it is our responsibility. You know, I was expecting tonight, I wanted to have this forum just going off the chain, because I know that it's a lot of people experiencing this. More so now, because you're getting frustrated in the house. You're locked in. Some people don't have the opportunity to call nobody. But sometimes all you got to do is just run next door. You just got to get out of that situation. And for all of us, I'm not telling you, even with your children, it's certain things you got to discipline your kids. But it's a difference between disciplining them and abusing them. You know, when you can abuse them without putting your hands on them, you can abuse them by using a lot of profanity and letting them see you do things that's not healthy for them. That's abuse as well. So a lot of us need to know that. And it's important that we take our time to evaluate ourselves. You know, Miss Kathy, what's been happening with me and my wife, that since we've been locked in here, this is funny. We haven't had an argument, a bad discussion, or nothing. Actually, every time we kind of do something to kind of tick each other off, we turn around and start laughing and say, "Oh, I'm sorry," or "I love you." And what we have, I think what we did is we looking at the real crunch of our relationship, not just with us together, but us individually. And that's what people need to do. So, you know, Kathy, I commend you for starting your organization, and I appreciate you allowing me to be a tool for you. I got a phone call from out of North Carolina tonight. I hope Miss Williams is listening, from the radio station there. That she said somebody had put my name, nominated me to come down and get some free advertisement or whatever the case may be. But I appreciate that, because what I am trying to do is I'm trying to be a voice for many people who are going to need that support. What I say, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. So, Miss Kathy, do you have anything else you want to share real quick? Because I want to open up the lines and see if there's anybody else that wants to share their experience or want to just send a message out. You have anything else you would like to put out?
I just want to put out there, Rodney, like I said, to speak, just listen. Just listen. Don't turn a deaf ear. You see something, you say something. Don't turn your ear like it's not your business. That's not my problem. I don't care. Because it can't be nine times out of 10, it can be a family member. It can be your mom. It can be your sister. It can be your daughter. I'm very protective of my children. So you see, if there's something going on, say something. Because worst case scenario I've had is where they're not even walking out of their home alive. So just say something, coming out of there alive. So just please say something. Don't turn your back on it. Call the police, call the sheriff, call anybody that can help somebody. Because the tables can be turned.
I thank you, Miss Kathy. Again, that's Bond for Better. She is an organization for domestic violence. You are a blessing, and there's many other organizations out there that people can call to get assistance. I can tell you 2 of them that will respond immediately. The number 1 is our Father God. Call on him, he's gonna make something happen. And the other one is 911. Yo, somebody put their hands on you, they do something to you that's inappropriate, you dial that number and somebody will come. So with that said, Miss McKnight, I thank you and God bless you. And we're going to keep networking and we're going to keep being a vessel for people to utilize us to help moving forward, because we believe in people to people, power to power, positive thinking people.
Thank you, and good luck, and I am ready. So, just give me a call, anyone, if you need anything. And take care. Please take care of yourself.
Thank you, and you be safe and keep your distance.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. So, again, with everybody, I just want to say, this is an opportunity. Feel free to call in. It's 301-793-7342, 301-793-7342. Domestic violence is real. Child abuse is real. These things we have to pay attention to. And we got to be careful that we don't allow people to get away with doing it, because you are responsible as well. If you know somebody is in that situation, help them. I'm getting ready to touch my phone because I see something. Oh, I see what that is. And it's amazing what's going on. But God is good, and I tell you, it is very, very important that we support each other and help each other get that way out if we're in a trap. So, anybody that you know that's out there, don't feel like you being a nosy neighbor or something like that. If you think that they're being abused, please report them. Hey, can you do me a favor? Is it a call? I need you to get the charger and plug it up, because I'm losing power. It's real talk. People to people, power to power, positive people. Out of all times, I would do that. That's why I say the devil is real. Sometimes, when you be looking, the devil be trying to make you think that you're doing something wrong, and he'll try to throw it in there. I tell you, I know God is real, so is the devil, and I rebuke him. In the name of Jesus, be gone. Is that, I guess, a phone call? Mm-hmm. Hello, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
All right, and may I ask who I'm speaking with? If you want to give your name.
This is Felicia Harrison.
Hello, how you doing, darling? How's everything?
Everything is awesome. Everything is great.
I sure appreciate you calling in, and I want to ask you, is this a sensitive topic for you as well?
It's sensitive, but I'm ready to tell my story because I've kept it to myself for a very long time. So it's time to help others.
Okay. So with you saying that, then you're a victim of domestic violence?
Yes, I was a victim of domestic violence.
Okay, and I'm glad that you said was. That's something that I know. Let me do this. Y'all excuse me. I know that it's a lot of people out there are dealing with that. And so did you have a long period of domestic violence?
Yes. Just to give a smidget of my story, I actually knew the abuser for roughly about 17 years. We dated 17 years ago, and these past 5 years or so, we reconnected. We had a son together, and during the relationship, there were signs of abuse, but I wasn't used to the abuse because I experienced some type of abuse in other relationships, but this one was different because he never showed anger. He never spoke in a negative way. And so as we were dating, or once we got engaged, that's when he started to be abusive. The grabbing, the yelling and cussing me out and different things of that nature. And then it became physical. And that lasted for the engagement, and it lasted even after me marrying him. I even took it that far to marry this man because I didn't want to start over. I didn't want to go through the formalities of meeting someone else, and I honestly was in love with this person. So I was like, he'll change, and I'm a God-fearing woman. I have a relationship with God, and I just was like, okay, I'm praying to God, and I know God can change him. Wrong thing to do. I settled. That's really what I did. And every little thing that would trigger him, like I would look at him a certain way, I get hit. I would say something, I would get choked out. I would want to leave him alone. Because, I would say out my mouth, I want to leave you, I'm going to leave you, and he'll play it off like, oh, you're not going anywhere. And the whole time he's plotting to put his hands on me. And he not only put his hands on me, but he put his hands on our son that we shared together.
I'm going to be asking, I'm not being rude to interrupt you because I just want to ask you some questions. But at some point, did you feel guilty that you was responsible? Did he try to make you feel guilty that you were responsible for him putting his hands on you?
All the time.
Right.
All the time, and he would say, "You made me do this." If you would have just,
kept your mouth
left
shut,
me alone,
or just sat down in the corner like a little puppy, I wouldn't have did this.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's all your fault,
And that's the reason why I asked that is because first of all, thank you so much for speaking up. But a lot of people in those situations will believe that it's their fault. Oh, because I called them a name. Look, it's your mouth. You say whatever you want.
Right.
One of the things I always tell people is this. God gave me a space. Let me show you where the space is. The space is my arm. If my arm can reach your face, you're in my space. Okay?
Right.
So to me, that same space is the space for someone else. And a lot of men who know that they can overpower a woman, they will dominate her space and get so close into it and mentally start to make her feel that she's the cause of the problem. And that's why I asked you that question. Mm-hmm. So a lot of this was going on in front of your son?
Yes.
And
he would actually try to keep him away from it, like he'll tell him to go into the room, or he'll send him into the room. Because at the time, our son was about 3-4 years old. Yeah. And the first time my son saw me being abused by him, I looked at my son, and I saw him in the hallway, and he saw him choke. I was on the left seat, and he saw him choking me. And when he realized that my son was in the hallway, he stopped. And he went and said, go in the room. Me and Mommy are talking. Mommy's okay. And then it went, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, it's funny how abuser can put himself in a position where he'll try to make it okay, and that's his child. And then say, oh yeah, we talking, but he's over there choking you out. And we have a tendency to think the kids start between 2 and 5 years old are very crucial for children. They like sponges.
Yes.
They absorb everything. So if he saw that, one of the things I can suggest to you is to always tell your son, for no reason should he put his hands on any female. I have 3, well, really I got 4, but I have 3 sisters I grew up with, and I remember because of the abuse in the house, they ain't had no problem with hitting me either. But I started taking karate when I was about 12, 13 years old, and I started getting a little stronger. And one time, both of my sisters did something to me, and I jumped on both of them, and I hurt them pretty bad. And my mom, when she came home and she saw that, oh man, she just lit into me. Not physically, but she just broke me down. And she made it very clear, don't you ever put your hands on your sisters again, and don't ever put your hands on a woman. And my mom was trying to tell me, and she says, you know, you see this and you see your father do this to me, why would you do that? Well, you know, what's funny is, why would I do that is because actually, and I'm not, no disrespect to my mom, but because my mom stayed in that situation and allowed my father to keep doing it to her, I thought it was a part of a regular routine. I thought it was like part of love. But love don't hurt. Love don't hurt. Love don't bring no blood out your nose or no swollen eye. Blood don't make you be gasping for breath. So you know, this is very important, and I just commend you as a mother, because now you are out of that relationship, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what gave you really the strength to get out of it?
To me, I was edging myself to go ahead and leave. So I really had to talk myself into leaving, because I was looking at, I was not the only one being abused. My son was.
Right.
So he would have the bruises on him. He would have a busted lip. He would have times where he couldn't walk, or, you know, his back was hurting and different things. And then, you know, when Child Protective Services come knocking at your door, or you get a letter, you know, I was looking at the fact, I'm about to lose my child over someone who really don't care.
Yeah. Well, and, go ahead.
And so that was part of the turning point, but I still had to, you know, edge myself to go ahead and leave this person alone, because he was still here.
Yeah.
And once again, this is all I knew at one point. It wasn't that I couldn't leave. Like I said, I really love this person.
Right.
And when you have that agape love for a person, I'm going to be honest with you, it's hard to just let go, like a child having to a mother having to let go of her child.
Yeah.
You know, you want to protect them, you want to nurture them, you don't want them to get hurt. And that's how I felt about this relationship. I don't want, you know, all that I invested to be in vain. That's what I felt.
Yeah, but at the same time, you was taking punishment for trying to do what you thought was right, and that he possibly. But you know, again, first of all, God bless you. I think I know you're a good mom, and reason I know that for sure, because you got rid of that chump that was putting his hands on you. You know, and I did say chump, because that's for any man. See, one of the things we got to realize in a relationship, you can have disagreements, but it's levels that the disagreement should go to. And they should never go where they become physical, and especially when children are around. Because if a boy see his mom getting beat, and his mom allows this man to beat her, and then she goes and make love to him and fix his breakfast in the morning, the boy is going to think that that's part of the relationship. If a girl is receiving that same treatment, basically psychologically, seeing her mother and father or boyfriends and girlfriends, they together and they fighting and cussing and fussing, when they get older, they assume that that's part of the relationship. And that's not, that is not the way that it goes. So I appreciate you sharing I want to say it's an experience, but I'm going to say in this experience that probably made you wiser and stronger. And know this for sure. You know what? God loves you, and He wants you to love yourself. And anybody that can't treat you as good as you're going to treat yourself, you don't need to be with them.
That's right. That's right.
And if you don't, you know what? I'm going to leave it at that because I appreciate you calling in, and we, just know that it's still room for healing. And even the abuser, maybe he might be somewhere and he might be listening to this program. If he is, you know what I'm telling you? What I'm telling him is what he could do is he can get some help. Hey, I did. I mean, when I went to see 3 different psychiatrists, and nobody had to force me to do that. I did it on my own because I wanted to be a better person. And sometimes it takes other people to help you get those things out of you. Even my wife has helped me many times when I told her about the abuse. I broke down crying and told her, how I was dealing with these things, and she was able to listen to me. And then she was telling me, some of the things that she didn't like, some of the things she wouldn't tolerate as a woman. And she made it very clear. She's, look, if you love me, you ain't gonna be beating on me. She made that very clear. So I thank you again for calling in, sweetheart. I love you so much. God bless you, okay?
Love you too. Thank you.
All right. So, what I'm saying to everybody is don't put yourself in a position where you're feeling guilty for somebody putting their hands on you, okay? I said this was going to be a powerful conversation. I was hoping that the phone was going to be blowing off the charts here. I want people to know that, for real, we are responsible to help each other. We're responsible to help each other. And know this, nobody should be allowing anybody to abuse them under no circumstance. I'm talking about they don't have to just be hitting you, but if you got a person calling out your name, you know what your name is. You know your name. If they're calling you a B or a hoe or whatever the case may be, don't let nobody disrespect you like that in front of your kids. And if you're a dude out there doing that, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You should never put yourself in a position where you're going to be, as I would consider, my brother's keeper, and I'm going to be teaching you some negative things to do to another person. None of us. The other thing that helped me, my baby girl was born, that's my baby. Yes. Let me tell you. The worst thing, when I put it in my hands, I said, God, please don't let me go to jail for somebody hurting my baby. I feel like that for all of my kids. My sons too. My sons I don't worry about too much because my boys ain't no little boys. They can handle their business. But now I got some granddaughters. Oh, excuse me. We ain't even going to use no profanity. I'm working on that. We ain't going to use that, but I'm going to keep it real. That I don't care what she do. You better call me and let me know that it's out of control. But don't put your hands on my girls. And I say that because I respect. I tell my sons and I tell any man, I tell them this. This is the way it go. Every female is somebody's daughter, sister, aunt, cousin, okay, girlfriend. Every female, right? And all of us most likely have those same type of females with those titles in our family. How would you feel if she called you and told you that she was being beat on, disrespected, taken advantage of, and being sexually abused and those things? How would you feel? As a man and as a woman, how would you feel knowing that these children are being exposed to these things? Let's see. So, production is something I gotta stay on it. Gotta stay on it. Hey, believe me, God is good. Like I said, I'm sure you how the devil works, right? It's right now. I know Ellen, if she watched this, when she gonna be saying he done jumped up twice to do something, and then it's this bug that's flying around up on the ceiling, right? And I'm trying to ignore him. And the bad part is, I shouldn't have never said that because my wife is scared of bugs, right? But he ain't gonna do nothing to you, so don't worry. But if you hear something trample or fall over or whatever, you know that's her running. I gotta keep it real. It's real talk. People to people, power to power, power to the same people. That's what I do. It's real. Ms. Rollins, she said the other day, she said, if you're gonna talk, real talk, keep it real. Yes, Ms. Rollins, that's what I'm doing. Let me see, I got some more people to thank for joining in. Carl Pritchett, Felicia, Lynn Whiting, Mike Grimes, Sharon Smith, Design masks and hats. Oh yes, how you doing? Oh, and did she put that on the page? Oh, I wish that she could just do that. What's her name? What is her name?
Sharon Smith.
Sharon Smith. Sharon Smith, please put your information for people. You should see this woman's work. I mean, she got some scarf that's like, I could take a girl to the damn about. I mean, when I say scarves, I mean the mask. With the head wraps to match it. I'm talking about, and matter of fact, for what I understand, my wife has made it a point to purchase some from her. So, Sharon, what's her name again?
Sharon Smith Mutt.
Mutt, right? Am I pronouncing?
Mutts.
Okay, Mutts.
M-U-T-T-S.
Sharon Smith Mutt. I think you can get her on Facebook. Design masks and hats, etc. And you can see everything if you go on her page. And you wouldn't, I promise you. Betsy Pageant from South Carolina. Kim Thornton. Sin Harris Bell. Wanda Burry. Hey, my home girl, what's up, baby? How you doing, Wanda? Mara Anderson. Let me see. Magna. It's Mike. How you say? Fife. Alice Barber. What's that? Apaccio. Marino. Mariro. Who is that? Dodds.
Sadiq.
Okay, I don't know exactly. And if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, please forgive me. Dodd Sadiq. Sadiq. Mark Pope. Willie Price. My brother Malik. I just thank y'all. Everybody that's joining in. I thank you because this is a powerful, powerful conversation, and a lot of us have experienced this. A lot of us have seen it. A lot of us noticed it on TV. A lot of us lived it. And I told you I was a victim of it as well. And like I said, I can tell you some stories. Let me tell you something. I haven't finished my book, but I started writing it some years ago. And what happened is the emotions was a lot for me to deal with. So I decided just to back off. I really have no excuse that I got to get back into it and continue to write it and finish it, because I have found a great relief in talking about it and sharing some of the things that have taken place in my life. And not all of it was bad, because before my dad had came home from the military, I lived in a paradise. My mom, I have a good mother. My mother spoiled me rotten, okay? Sure did. And, of course, my father came home, he didn't get the proper help. And that happens in a lot of the black neighborhoods and black homes. We always put on the back burner for some reason. A lot of times we allow people to do that because we can make the difference ourselves. But I heard that they were talking about that today on Wendy and another show. They were talking about us as black Americans, how we always have to wait to get service and get help. That's the same thing with this domestic violence. It's very prominent in our community. A lot of times it's because you pent up and you're trying to find a way out to make things happen. But don't do it and take it out on your family and your loved ones. Don't do that. If you love somebody, if you come out your mouth and say, I love you, there's no reason for they to feel any pain. They should not feel no pain. Love do not hurt. Not a little tiny bit. Matter of fact, love be making you feel fine, make you want to jump up and holler and dance and take a run. You know what I mean? Love make me come home. I told my wife today, when she fixed my sandwich, she put the same stuff on my sandwich, but my sandwich tastes different. My sandwich tastes different. But you know something was so funny? When she fixed it, I said, what is it? Maybe she must have threw a little bit of sugar on the mayonnaise or something. But you know what it is? It's that love. So if it's anything that's in your relationship that's hurting you, get out of it. Don't feel like, it's not nobody out there for you. Because guess what? It is. There's always somebody out there that want to be there, make you happy and change you. I ask everybody to continue supporting PTP, People to People, Power to Power, Positive Thinking People. Please go to YouTube. Please like my page and share it. Please do whatever you can to assist us in helping us moving forward. We are trying to build production, and it costs to do that. I ain't begging nobody, because guess what? I am a man that anything that I can conceive, I will achieve. I'm going to do what I do. But it would be a great help if you would help the numbers go up. And anybody that you know have specific topics that they want to talk about, please let me know. Text me, call me, tell me, email me, Rodney Grimes, ptp@yahoo.com. Send me a email, and definitely one of the things that I've been talking to some of my family members who are helping me move forward, and my brother from Baltimore, Malik, we're looking at things to take the program to a different level. I know I'm sitting here and you're looking at me and listening to me talk. That's not the easiest thing to do. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm always being productive and helping you move forward. I want you to get something out of it, that you don't come and tune in every day to look at my pretty face. I'm just joking. No, really. What I'm saying is, I want you to know that I'm interested in what you need to help you move forward. Because guess what? People to people is me, you, and them. Power to power is the power that I possess through this format, the power that I give you to change some things in your life, and the positive thinking people are all of us that come together to do things that we can help one another. We are our brothers and sister keeper. I got another phone caller. Thank you. Hello, how you doing?
Hello, dear one.
Hello, how you doing, Miss Pope?
I'm good. I'm working while listening to you. I'm trying to wait to see anybody else will call before I call.
Well, I got to say something before anybody. Miss Pope is actually my co-host for real. She's been actually laying back in the cut, because if we were able to be on air, she would be sitting next to me. So she calls every day to contribute her contribution. She's out doing her footwork, and I appreciate you. And I just wanted to put that out there. So every time that y'all hear her call, hey, she's doing her job.
Well, I'm trying to let you know.
I know that's right. I appreciate you so much. You're just a phenomenal young lady, and I appreciate you.
I just want to come in because I was actually waiting to see if more people was coming in to tell their story or whatever they would like to say. But I want to come in and not to put the family business out there, but to talk about my point of view on my side as a child, like you. It's in a different angle, though, of me watching what was going on from a young age, very young age, as my mother shared with me one time, which I don't remember. She mentioned to me, she said, "Mama, don't worry, I'll protect you." And I was like, how old was I? And she mentioned, because I was like 4, 5 years old. And so from then, I noticed as I was growing up, I focused my attention towards drawing to disappear from what was going on around me. And to the point where I was looking at something in front of the table to ignore the argument, I zoned into drawing. And I didn't like hearing, no argument. My breaking point is when I was in high school. But it always happened when my other siblings always got on the bus. And he always accusing my mom about things that he done.
Right.
You know, forgetting it was the smallest thing, and I didn't see no appreciation, and I got fed up. Where I stood up in front, right in front of my mom to protect her, and to tell her, I just went off. So I'm speaking from a point of view of a child, now a teenager, got frustrated because I used to be shy, very shy. And I came out of that during that moment. And I stood up before him. I got so angry, I moved the wash machine in front of the door so he wouldn't come back in the house because I was throwing stuff. I started getting physical. So, I'm skipping a lot, but to say, I always went into drawing as my zone to zone out his behavior, and I got to a point where I was trying to teach him how to appreciate my mother when she was working all day and then had enough nerve to come and fix dinner and dinner's ready for you, and you don't say thank you or to say. And I even made a CD for him to listen to. I made a cassette thing to coach him how to be romantic for my mom, but I said, enough of this, and I left home. There's a lot more that happened in between that. I just left because there was rules there in our home, and I always abide by the rules. But I had enough.
Well,
that wasn't my reality. That was not my reality because I see my mom stayed, and I remember my first relationship, I stayed in that relationship. The love was gone. It was like, stay there because that's your friend. But no, I don't need to stay here. And I left. And so, I knew God would bless me. Let me stay focused on me. Let me develop me and my relationship with God. And that was my focus. And that God blessed me with a real man to appreciate me or who I have become today.
Well, that's what a lot of people don't know, and that is that a lot of people have to deal with different type of abuse. They find ways to cover it up, and a lot of times they go to drugs or robbing and stealing and all different type of behaviors. As I was reading off this list, some of the behaviors are just noticeable. You can see as a young kid, if you got a kid that's going through these things, you'll be like, man, something's wrong, and that's when we should pay attention and listen to the signs. So
it took me a while though, but I got myself together. Work. I just was a workaholic.
Well, one of the things that I can say, and I'm not, I try to stay within a time limit, so
right.
I know people don't want to just sit and be looking at me, but we had some very, very positive individuals who called in. I appreciate the ones that shared their stories. I'm sure there's a lot of people that's listening that have experienced something. Know this: you are not bound by a relationship that's abusive to you. And if you do what's necessary, you can change your life and you can make things right. So with that said, let me tell you something. Please, if you're in an abusive relationship, get out of it. Do not let anybody make you think that it's necessary for you to stay in it. Because nobody is owned by another human being. And it's up to you to make the difference to get out of it. So with that said, Miss Rachel Pope, you beautiful black queen, I thank you so much as always. I'm looking forward to some things that's going to happen down the line as we move forward, and I'm excited. And So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get ready to end the program. Let everybody know that, again, if you have any domestic problems that you're dealing with, please don't feel like you're trapped. There's a way out of it. And, if you have to call 911, call 911. If you got to go to the next door neighbor's house and tell them, say, look, I need some help, do that. But don't put yourself in a position where you think that it's your fault. And anybody that's married to a man that's putting his hands on you, get rid of that boundary. Because guess what? There's somebody out there that'll love you sweet and be good to you. And that goes for some men too. And remember, you can call Kathy McKnight. The number is actually posted. If you want her on Facebook, you go on Facebook, you'll be able to get her. It's Bond for Better. She says she keeps her phone available 24/7. If you're in a position and you need some help, hey, remember what you got to do. Remember, this is PTP, People to People, Power to Power, Power to Think People. I love you, and I hope that I've been a blessing to some people. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, we have a very, very positive brother that's going to be coming on. His name is Sir Charles Curry. You don't want to miss that. He's a motivational speaker. He's an author. He has about 5 books he's written. I'll be posting and advertising them for all those who would like to join in. And what you're going to see is that we're going to have different guests coming in more frequently, and to help us move forward, to help you follow your dreams, so that you'll be able to get out there and be a success in life as well. This is Rodney Grimes, People to People, Power to Power, Power to Think People. Remember, I love you, God love you. And if we continue to help each other, we'll grow together.